Understand comprehensions and generator functions. Okay, the simple concepts. First, let us understand what is mean by comprehension. A comprehension is the concise inline syntax used to construct a new collection from an existing iterable, replacing the loops. For example, say that I have a list items is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to generate another list out of this, okay, which contains only even numbers. So what is the logic I use? I will just put a loop for x in items. Then inside this I'll check if x mod 2 equal to 0, then it is even number, right? So x is even. So I will append events dot append x. This is one way of doing. So loops usually are a little bit slow and consumes more memory. So what they suggest is use comprehension. Comprehension means I can generate and create expression inside the iterables. Okay, so or a collection. So I want to build a events list collection, all the even numbers from items. What I can write is I can just write this everything inside this condition. Okay, so x for x in items, condition is if x mod 2 is equal to 0. Whatever I am doing here, just select that x for every x in this items list. If x mod 2 equal to 0, entire expression I can write inside this list itself. Okay, so that will create me events equal to, will give 2 and 4 will be answer. So this can be applied for lists, dictionaries and sets. So whatever I written here, it is called as a comprehension, single line expression to create a collection from existing iterables. Now we'll see the syntax in the conditions for list comprehensions, the list, dictionary, and then sets. List comprehension, build a list immediately in memory. Multiple clauses are evaluated from left to right, matching the nesting order of standard loops. The order is from left to right. For example, I have numbers equal to 1, 2, 3, and I have writing a comprehension x square for x in numbers. So this builds the list squares containing 1, 4, and 9. So instead of writing a separate code, I can just use the comprehension. I can also do in pairs. For example, nested clause. So it starts from, the evaluation starts from left to right always. So that is the order. So here in the list I am writing x comma y for x in 1 comma 2, and then so this is the left one. So this whatever x value will go here. Then continue for y in say a comma b. So this y will go to this y. So pairs. So you will get the output as a list. In that I will have a tuple like this, 1a, then 1b, so 2b. So each item of this with each item of this. Okay. So it is just like 1a, and then I will have 2a, and then 2b. It is just like nested loop. So if I write a nested loop, how the output we got is like for x in, so this list 1, then nested loop inside that for y in L2, then I am appending x comma y. This is what it is doing. Okay, you can have multiple variables inside comprehensions. Dictionary comprehensions, we need two things, right? Dictionary is a key value. Construct new mapping using a colon. Key colon v means key value pair. If duplicate keys are encountered, the latest or the last iteration overrides the earlier value. So for example, I have square map is equal to the dictionary x x square for x in range 1 to 4. So 1 to 4 means, so this is the comprehension, dictionary comprehension I am writing. So x and then colon, this means this is the key, and whatever it is generating here is the value in that order. So this is the separator. So it will generate for range 1 to 4 means 1, 2, 3. So x square is 1. Then it will generate for 1. For 2, when x is 2, it will be 2 square. 3, it will be 9. So this is the dictionary created using comprehension. If there are any duplicates, it will be overwritten. For example, I have initially data given here A1, B2, A3. So K for V for K comma V in data. So what will happen? It will ignore this. See what it is doing inside this dictionary is, for key, the value you take from K comma V, two values. K will go to this and V maps to this in already existing this dictionary data or list, sorry, the list data. So how it will generate now? First it will take K, A and then V. So it will create first like this. Then K becomes B, B2. Now A3. So A, the key value should be unique, right, in dictionary. So what it will do, instead of creating A3, it will override the previous value. The latest value will be written. So it will become A3. Okay. So this is how the dictionary comprehensions work. The next is set comprehensions, also called as deduplication. Deduplication means the sets will only have unique values, unique items. Sets will not have duplicates. Deduplication means removing the duplicates. Set comprehensions use curly braces without colons. They automatically remove the duplicates, and their final internal ordering is never guaranteed. See, sets are unordered. The ordering is not guaranteed. So for example, I have data equal to the repeated values 1, 2, 2, 3, 1, 4. This is a list. Now I want to generate a set containing x square. That is, I am generating using set comprehension x square for x in this data. Automatically it will remove duplicates. For 1 it will generate 1, then for 2 it will generate 4 x square. So this 2 is ignored. 3 square 9, 1 is already there and 4 is 16. So this will be the set, and you cannot guarantee this order. And then already have seen this, the empty set. If I want to divide an empty set, I have to use this. Okay, if I use like this, if I put a value, then it is a set. This is not empty set, this is the empty dictionary. Empty dictionary, we already know this concept. So be careful with that. Then the next one is the generator expressions. You already used it. So for example, range. See, generator expressions, there are two types. What they exactly do. Okay, eager versus lazy storage. Eager means it is creating a memory at that time only and then storing it. Lazy means whenever it is executed or the action is required, then only the value is given. Generator expression use parentheses. Instead of making the complete data set at once, they yield a single item on demand, saving memory layout overhead. Okay. So for example, numbers is a list 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, generator is lazy, cannot be indexed directly. For example, we have seen range. Range, I read it as 1, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, it is not generated. If I say x k or I in range, whatever happens, this I value initially whenever required will take 1. Okay, and then it will utilize and it will destroy that I equal to 1. So this is lazy evaluation. So here what you're doing, you have to use the brackets like this, parenthesis. Okay. So x into 10 for x in numbers. What exactly this is doing? When I generate this lazy, I'm using a generator. Generator, you have to use the parenthesis like this. Inside this, you write your expression x star n for x in numbers. Now numbers is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. What you think is, you'll say that this lazy generator will contain these values like this. For example, 10, 20, 30, 40. This is wrong. It will not contain like that. So if I print this as a list, consuming the iterate, exhaust it completely. For example, if I just only print lazy generation, it will give me the object map. Okay, it will not give me the display. That means what, this expression, you already seen this lazy evaluation in many videos. So it will just create this formula and then keep it. Only when an action is taken place, so each time it gives the value. So it will never generate 10, 20, 30, 40 and store in memory. It is not stored in the memory. 10 is generated when only required. So now I am seeing print list lazy generation. So I want the entire list. So it will convert this into list, and then at that time it stores in the memory. Now it is in the memory temporarily. We also call it as stream. Okay, this will display the output. Again, if I print the same statement, it will print an empty list because it is deleted. Once it is consumed, it is deleted. So before I consume, it is not stored in the memory. The idea is simple. Lazy storage means till I consume it, it is not stored in the memory. When I consume it, it will give me, and again it will delete from the memory. So it is never permanently stored in the memory. So it saves the memory. The next is the generator function. It's an extension of expressions. The yield model. An yield statement transforms a function into a stateful factory. Calling it returns an iterator without running the code block immediately. Okay. So yield statement, if I write a function definition, for example, print start execution, then yield 10, yield is a keyword, okay, and then print resume execution, yield 20. If it was a normal function, all the statements would have been executed. But here, whenever the Python encounters the yield keyword, it freezes here, it stops here. So let us take this function and then generator equal to simple generator. I am passing it. Now I am calling, I have to use next. So yield freezes at that point till I call the next. Next, asking me to give the next value. So once I execute this, what will happen? First, it prints start. Okay, its print comes here because there is no yield statement for print. So first, when I make the call, what is the call? Next generator function, this simple generator function, calling this function. So through next is the keyword. It asks for the next yield. Okay, yield means you give out. So I am asking next means you give whichever is the next value. Okay, so it is halting here, it is freezing. So this is the behavior of yield and next. So what happens now? I will just call these statements. Okay, so when I call next and then pass this function, first it prints the statement start execution. Okay, so this first line is printed. Then it yields 10, means it returns this value 10 automatically without return statement. So this statement will print 10. Then it freezes here. It does not continue. This is the key concept here. It does not continue. Then when I make the next, again next function is called with this. Then it proceeds. It then prints resume execution. It was freezed till this point till next is called, and then returns 20 and prints 20. Now what will happen? This is important. Okay, what will happen if I call again this next? Because there is no value to be yielded, no value to yield. Okay, so this will raises an exception called as a stop iteration exception. Okay, that means what? You have to stop here because there is nothing to yield, no value to return. When it comes to loop usually automatically consumes it. We usually don't read yield. For example, a standard for loop manages generator life cycle automatically by priming them, retrieving values and catching the structural exception under the hood. So everything it will do. Yield, next, and then catching the stop iteration exception. It calls the next function implicitly behind the scenes on each pass. It catches the termination signal, that is stop iteration signal, cleanly without raising a error or a exception or a crash error. So for example, I have this again generator function yield 1, yield 2, yield 3. So what I am doing here, I am just putting a loop for VE in this function, then print V. I am not using any, so observe I am not using any next. Next is not used. So automatically the loop, for loop has a capacity to yield it. So it will print all this, okay, 1, 2, 3. And then when it stops, okay, when it stops, stop iteration will be handled automatically. No exception will be thrown. What about the return statement? If I have a return statement in this, till now I was in the example without return. So I have definition, generation, generator with return. This is a function. I'm yielding 1, yielding 2, and then I have this return statement at the end. What will happen now? So when I call G2 next means, so it will print 1, then 2. Now when I call the next, what will happen? It will, we already know it will generate a stop iteration exception as E. So this return value is directly fed to stop iteration dot value. That is, stop iteration is an exception handler which contains to display some value. So that value is attached. Whatever return value is there, no final, will be attached to this message. Stop iteration dot value means it will print some message. What was the message? Why is throwing the exception or crashed? So instead of throwing the default message, the return value is there, that will be printed. Okay, that will be attached to this stop iteration dot value. So that is the concept of return in generator functions. Now generators helps us to build infinite collections, okay, or lists or maybe sets. Because generators compute values lazily, you can define infinite logic structures without triggering a memory overflow, because they are, whenever you want it, the value is returned. It is never stored in the memory. That's why you will never run out of memory. A generator yields individual snapshots without loading the entire infinite sequence into RAM. If I want to generate, say, 1000 elements, all 1000 elements will not be generated and stored in the RAM. Whenever I want 1 is returned. Whenever I want 2 is returned. So this is a lazy evaluation, right? So that's why it can generate any number of, any size of the sequence, infinite sequence. So let us take this example. We define a natural number start equal to 1. So I am starting with 1. N equal to start while true. So this is a infinite loop. If you see here, it never ends. While true means it will be true always. And then I am passing yield n. Okay. So initially, when I say next generation for a variable in range 7. So here only I am taking 0 to 6 values. Okay. It will call for 7 times. What will happen here? Yield initially 1, then it becomes 2, 3, 4. So whenever I am calling this 1 is generated, okay, and then return back. 2, 3, 4 are not in the memory. Whenever I request second time, this is generated. This is not in the memory. These are not in the memory. 2 is returned. That is a lazy evaluation. So I can go this to infinity, because at any point of time only one number is generated and given to you, and that is destroyed again. So it is not stored in the memory. So you can store any number of values, because at any point of time only one value is stored. So thank you for watching. We'll solve two problems on this generator and comprehensions. They're very important for GATE exam in the next video. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe and share.